I do that to my fucking kids when we're like learning spelling words. I'm like,
saying
BLACK is the word black. BLACK. BLA. What? My kids just like, shut the fuck up, Mom.
Your poor kids.
I know it works.
They love it.
It works.
It's probably
For
fun
my
to
kid.
have a mom like you, you know?
It better be.
God damn!
Do you need a pillow for your foot?
No, I got a foot.
Are you sure?
Actually, I have a pillow right here.
Yeah. Look
I
at
won't
that.
be able to feel it is the problem.
Do you need help?
No.
Oh, scratched a...
One thing you'll learn about me, I don't need any help.
That's a joke. You would have fucking never made it here without my help.
I would have never made it.
You dropped a crutch.
This whole 2 weeks.
I don't know how
I'm
you've done it.
so fucking incapacitated in every way. Like, I'll just get it myself. I got a burrito out of spite one time.
You got a burrito out of spite? Like you got out of bed and grabbed it?
Yeah, I got out of bed and went and got it and
I bet that
heated
really
it up.
showed Brandon.
He
who's
just
boss.
followed behind me the whole time with a stupid little grin on his face.
Is this
being
your
like,
goddamn that you had
just
surgery
ask.
finally?
My goddamn is that I had surgery finally. Yay!
Woo!
And I went in yesterday to, here's my biggest boot
Look
for
at that.
everyone on Patreon.
It's been 2 weeks, right?
Yep, it's 2 weeks today.
Uh-huh.
And I went in yesterday to have her look at it again. She unwrapped it all, and I got all of the gory pictures, and it's great.
It looks like a dead foot.
It's a dead foot.
Yeah.
And then she said, you're going to have to start bending your toes.
Yeah.
For your toe, right? So you
Yeah.
don't get scar tissue and whatever, like build up and
Stretch
you
it.
need your fucking range of motion. I was like, cool, no problem. That sounds like super easy.
I'll for sure do that someday.
How far should I do that? Oh, I do it all the fucking time because I'm a psychopath. But I was like, how far should I do it? And she was like, I'll show you. And I was like, cool. And then she grabbed my toe and then she bent it backward and I nearly crawled out of the fucking chair.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, that hurts a lot.
Did you see white?
Yeah, right? And then she goes, and then you just go down. And then she pulled my foot,
She just
my toe
ignored
down.
you yelling.
Pretty much, yeah. I held on to my foot like, you're not fucking going anywhere, bitch. And then she pushed it down, and I was like, oh, fuck, that's worse. I nearly pissed myself
Oh my
when she was
God.
bending them. It hurt so fucking bad.
I feel like she should have gone slower.
so fucking bad.
Or is it like you just got to rip off the Band-Aid and do it?
I don't know. I've never done it before. She went slow when she did it. She was like looking me in the eyes with her fucking...
Waiting for you to be like, tap out. Uncle!
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, and then afterwards she was like... so just do that like a couple times a day. And I was like, okay, how far should I be bending it? Like
Because
forward
I
and
blacked
backward?
out.
Yeah, right. And she goes, oh, just as far as I did it. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest, my eyes were closed. Because that shit hurt so fucking bad.
She's like, I'll do it again.
She did. She's
No.
like, do you want me to do it again? And I was like, kind of, but like, no, but yes, so that I can see it. And
How
then she
far
did.
back? Do it on like your thumb.
I mean, it's just like as far as it'll go, basically. Just
Like, if
do it
that-
as far as it'll fucking go until it hurts a lot, and then
Like that.
hold it. Yeah, but it's less
You're-
than that for me.
Oh, really? Like,
Look at that little
oh,
guy
look
go.
at it go. It's like you're just lifting your toes off the pavement.
Yeah, yeah.
Did it hurt?
That hurts so
Are you
fucking
okay?
bad.
Don't hurt yourself today. Today's not about exercising.
Today's not about
Today-
stretching this bitch out.
Today's about relaxing with my bestie.
Yeah.
Because do you want to hear my goddamn?
What?
Mine is that I took this whole fucking week off of work because I may or may not have had a mental breakdown.
Hell yeah.
Solid for truth mentee B.
Oh no.
And my boss was like, you should take the week off.
Your boss recommended it?
Yes. I
Oh no.
think she's afraid I'm going to fucking flip a table and quit, which, I mean, to be honest, I was getting there.
Is a
Like,
risk, yeah.
Yeah, and it had, like, work isn't even, work is just like a small little part of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like life has been so fucking crazy. I feel like it has been for everybody. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people feel this way. It's just been so out of control and insane. Anyway, so if you were ever thinking about taking a week off with no vacation plans or anything, and you just wanted to like sleep your life away and do whatever the fuck you would do if you didn't have a job, highly recommend it. This is your sign to try it because it has been the best week of my life.
Oh my god, I bet.
Oh my God, I haven't done shit and I've needed it so bad.
Yeah.
Like I just sit around all day. I take naps all the time.
Oh, that
I might
sounds
like
great.
wash a dish here or there. I literally had a therapy session on Tuesday, which was only day 2 of vacation. And I was like, oh my God, I think I'm depressed. All I want to do is sleep all the time. Like I'm really worried that I'm depressed. And she's like, Well, yeah, you would be depressed with everything going on in your life that's normal, but like you're just tired. Like if this happens for a month, then talk to me about depression.
Right.
But like you're okay.
Like you're catching up right now.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I don't feel like doing anything. Like my dishes in my sink are like piled up. She's like, that's okay. Like do you need them to be cleaned? I'm like, not really. She's like, that's fine. And if you feel like you need to do something to feel accomplished, go do a dish and then go back and watch a TV show and do a dish during the commercial break or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you know, breaking it down into smaller tasks. And I'm like, oh my God. Like everything in my life is always like 100% or nothing. Like you have to do all the dishes and then you can sit down. Otherwise the night's not done or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just been so fucking nice.
Isn't it awful how we do that to ourselves?
I know. It's
Because
like
it's not necessary.
all the invisible rules.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Even in my own life, though, I'm like, oh, I feel guilty. And I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, but to
Nobody
who?
said that to you.
You feel guilty to you.
Yeah.
And it's stupid.
I know. I hate it.
There's no reason to. Like, I'm
No.
not guilt tripping myself.
Why do I do it all the fucking time?
Yeah.
I know. Nobody's guilting me. Nobody's trying to make me feel any kind of certain way, but I take it and I twist it in my head in some sick way of like, oh, I'm not being enough for everybody around me.
Yeah, you haven't accomplished all of the things.
Oh, God. No. And then yesterday I told my kid, because it's literally every 5 seconds when my kid is home, is like, Mom, 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 Mom. And I told him yesterday, I was like, dude, moms deserve to sit down and get to like fucking watch TV for hours at a time, just like you do, okay? So let me go sit and watch my
Ooh.
show. Yeah.
What'd he say? He's like, no, you
He
fucking
didn't
don't.
say fucking shit. He's just like, anyway, yeah, but
Can you do that after you get me a water?
this cup tastes gross because I've been drinking from it for 2 days. And I'm like, yeah, you've been drinking water from it for 2 days. You're fine.
Yeah.
But let me get you a fucking cup and then leave me alone.
You know where the stool is, kid.
I know. Oh, but that's always the worst idea. Like, I want him to be independent, but whoo, does he make a mess in his little independent life.
Well, especially in your little booby-trapped cup cabinet.
Anything you open in my house just falls down. No, it's like water. Like I saw him the other day getting him and his brother a water cup, like in a sippy cup, which nobody asked for the record. Like, nobody was like, I need water. And he was like, anyway, me and my brother need water. And he had 2 of the sippy cups out and a giant, like, mug, like a Stanley mug, but not Stanley, you know?
Mhm.
And he had filled that up with water, and then he was pouring it into the sippy cups to fill those up with water. It was just fucking water everywhere.
So he just wanted to play with water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, screwing the lids on, they were too full, so, like, the water overflowed. And I was just like, oh, my God. And then his brother was like, I'm okay. I already have water. And I'm like, gee, I have 3 new dishes.
Yeah, right?
This is why I don't want to do dishes.
And they've all touched the ground.
Oh, yeah. Like, I can't just, like, dump the water and put it back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what his hands had touched. We were just outside playing soccer.
There's
Probably
definitely
the
worms
bowl.
on them.
Yeah. Anyway. Yay!
Yay!
I'm so glad you did it. Would you do your surgery again knowing where you're at right now? Like, are you going to do the second foot someday?
Considering the second foot should be weight bearing at this point, like right now,
Mm-hmm.
this one is a longer recovery time, so I still can't put weight on it for 4 weeks after this.
Oh.
But if I do the regular ass surgery on my left foot, I would be weight bearing today.
Already.
And so, yes.
yeah.
Like, given
you did
everything,
the worst one first.
Yeah, given
Good job.
all of that, like the pain and everything, it sucks, obviously, but there's drugs, and
You've given birth.
I've given birth. Like, you
get
can't
through
fucking
pain.
hurt me, man.
Yeah.
The things that I say to myself
Are more painful
Yeah.
than any physical pain you could
in
inflict.
the mirror every morning is worse than any fucking physical torture you could do on my foot.
No.
So yeah, I'd do it again. And also, like, Brandon has been over the fucking top great with taking care of me and all that. He's like, you need to stop apologizing. And I was like, I'm sorry.
I can't.
Like, it feels so fucking frustrating
Yeah.
to not be able to move around or do everything because you can't hold anything when you're walking around with crutches.
Yeah.
So I can't just like, oh, let me clean up the
You have
house
to
really
ask
quick.
for help constantly.
Yeah, I can't do shit. I'm like, can you grab my drink and bring it up for me? Can you fucking stand right
We should
there
get you
so
a
that when
cup
I'm
holder
done
for your
wiping?
crutches.
What?
We should get you a cup holder for your crutches.
I know, right?
What a great
Or like
idea.
a basket or something.
You could probably crochet one.
Probably could. I won't be needing them that long. Actually, I do need them for another 4 weeks. I
Yeah,
could.
yeah, you
You know,
could. And then we'll
cup
just put
holder,
like a cardboard.
koozie on it.
Yeah, we could put like a little cardboard thing on it to give it sturdy. You know?
Yeah. Oh, this is my tricked out crutches.
You should crochet little armpit things. You know, people put like towels on the
Yeah.
armpits.
Oh, that's the other thing. They fucking hurt, man.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they suck.
Have you ever used crutches before this?
One time.
I
But I
haven't.
was always too short, so I just assumed they hurt because of that.
Yeah.
Like, because I was using adult crutches and
You're
you have
like
to.
walking with them straight out.
No, I put them out, like wings, because I was like, I can't reach the ground if they're up high.
I would always just put the legs out and put them under my armpit because I too had the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do start to hurt after a while.
Yeah,
It
they're
doesn't
terrible.
take long, actually.
No, they're bad. And then my wrists were hurting, or like my hands, my palms were hurting from these things.
Yeah.
The whole thing just fucking sucks. But I would still do it again.
And look, you're here now.
I'm here now.
And her cast pumps up like Air Nikes.
It does. It's got a little bump on there that I
Pretty
could
cool.
blow this bitch up.
Blow
and then
that bitch up.
Fucking deflate it with that little bitch right there.
No big deal.
I asked the doctor, I was like, wow, so when do I do that? Like, how does that work? And she said, and I quote, I don't know. Do you want the instructions? I was like, I fucking guess.
What do you mean?
If you can't fucking tell me what it's for, yeah, I guess I'll
Yeah.
take the instructions. You
she's
don't
like,
want
"It's
to read
just
them real quick?
When you're wearing the boot to make it fit right?
Well, I didn't know. I don't, like, where does it blow up? I have to feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no, and half my foot is numb. So
Is
I
it
can't.
still numb?
Yeah. Like
Damn.
my big toe, can't feel that bitch.
That's crazy.
On the right, I can.
Is
but
it
on the
because the
left, I can't.
nerves? Like they cut the nerves or something and they have to grow back?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. It could be months like that, I guess. Oh, they
That'd
didn't
be
take out my
weird.
stitches yesterday either. She said, we were going to take out your stitches today, but I'm going to leave them in for another week. And I was like, fucking tight.
Well, that's good.
It wasn't good, though, because I really wanted to take them out because it feels like it's going to scratch and itch.
Ooh.
Like, it feels like it's going to feel good
Yeah,
when she
I
takes it
bet.
out.
You're making me want to itch my foot out of like sympathy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and do that for you.
When she unwrapped it, I just immediately started, like, scratching the top of my foot. And I was like, I should probably stop. But it feels so good.
So good.
Yeah, and then she came in and she was like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's red because I scratched it. It wasn't like that before. I took a picture.
Should have taken, yeah, like you should have taken a picture before you left this room.
Yeah.
Like scratching all around it.
Yeah, it feels so good.
Oh, shit. Well, do you want to talk about murder?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, because I'm going to tell you a story about some murder.
Okay.
This week, we are going to talk about Joanna Simpson.
Joanna Simpson. Well, those are two very interesting names.
Y'all stalling. So there's not a lot of information about the before time, so we're jumping into it,
Love it.
as we tend to do on this episode.
As we do.
On this podcast, not
Yeah.
just this episode.
This episode in particular.
Okay, so in November of 1998, a woman by the name of Joanna Simpson met a man by the name of Robert Brown while they were on a trip in South Africa.
Ooh, okay. Where are they
Robert-
from?
They're from England.
Okay.
So Robert was a British Airlines pilot, and that's all we know about him.
Hey, listen. Professional commercial airline pilot?
Making some bank.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Joanna, I don't recall what her reputation was, but it sounds like she was doing pretty good herself.
Okay. Her reputation or her occupation?
Occupation. Both of them, don't know anything about.
All right.
But it sounded like she was okay.
All right.
She was doing good for herself.
Good.
So they met in 98, in November of 98, and by February of 99, they were married.
Damn.
So it was a hard and fast love connection.
I guess.
My next bullet literally says, their romance was a whirlwind and happened hard and fast.
Oh, hard and fast and loose.
Yeah, exactly. But by the end of the honeymoon, Joanna had realized that she had made a terrible mistake. Her honeymoon. She's on the honeymoon. And she calls her mom and she's like, I think I made a terrible mistake because Robert, turns out he's an awful person.
What?
Yeah, I guess he was treating the hotel staff really rude and like just overall not very nice. And she was like, oh, fuck, man. I married this guy.
Oh, no.
And she called her mom to say that on the honeymoon.
Oh, no.
I know. But only weeks later, she found out that she was pregnant. So she
fuck.
decided to stay with Robert, even though he's an awful person.
Oh, God.
And she was going to try really hard to make her marriage work.
Oh, God, that sucks.
I know.
First of all, could you imagine saying yes to someone who proposed fucking 3 months later? Well, they would have proposed sooner than that.
Probably, yeah. And then to find out on your honeymoon that they're really awful and you don't want to be married to them. You know, I feel like we're slowly curving into this like world and period of time where it's just like, fuck it, get a divorce. Like, you know, get out now. Whereas like,
jump ship while you can.
yeah, whereas like, you know, our generation and before was like you try to make it work.
Yeah.
And I feel like our kids are going to grow up and be like, I don't understand why that's a problem. Or maybe it's from living in California.
Maybe it's from living in California.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I imagine, like, people around, like, the Bible Belt and stuff still frown
you
upon
gotta
divorce
stick-
and all that.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
stay with the family, especially if you're pregnant.
But really, the only reason to not get a divorce or whatever is, like, a religious reason or, like, family reasons. Or you
Yeah.
don't want to be embarrassed. Like, yeah, I made a real big mistake.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, that's kind of like the culture, right?
Yeah.
Of our society was like, it's so taboo for
Yeah,
whatever
it's, like,
reason.
frowned upon.
Yeah, frowned upon. And I feel like we're kind of going into the, like, world of, like, I mean, he's fucking, he did that shit. That's not your fault. Get out of there.
Yeah. Don't stand with that.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, so she's like, fuck, I'm pregnant. I'll stick around and make my marriage work.
Okay.
Friends say that Robert was constantly putting Joanna down and criticizing her parenting and her cooking, and overall was just like not a nice guy to be around.
Sounds like a fucking peach.
All of her friends and family hated him.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, we hate this guy.
What? Okay, there's a certain point, though, that your friends and family are going to be like, you know, you made a mistake. You should
but
just
if
get
she's
divorced.
standing up for him, I could see, like, if, let's say this were happening to me, and
Yeah.
you came to me, and you were like, you gotta leave him, whatever. If you did it too many times,
Yeah,
I'd
you'd
cut you
me
out of my
off.
life.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, listen, I hear you, but I'm staying. So
Yeah.
then you have to support me or leave,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't know if that's the case,
That
but I
sucks, though.
wonder if that's what happened. You know, like if they just kind of got the hint and they were like, all right, we'll just be quiet
Yeah.
and just keep an eye on her.
Ugh.
One of the friends had actually reported Robert to the police because he rode his bicycle, towards her and her children and then veered away at the last second, like some sort of sick joke. Like he was just being a dick.
Mhm.
But like it was her kids in danger.
But it's a bicycle?
Yeah. But like, I'm going to run your kids over with a bike? That's fucked up.
Yeah.
They wouldn't die, but they could get hurt. Like, I'd be pissed.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of a world in which a bicycle is threatening and a man on a bicycle is threatening.
Maybe he was being a dick beforehand and then hopped on the bike and was just like speeding right at
It's like-
them. Yeah, that's kind of silly.
on his little mongoose.
I mean,
Is
have you
that
seen
a
him?
Huffy? It's coming right for me.
He's got a little fucking basket.
Yeah.
With screamers. He's
Clink,
like, ding, 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 ding.
Better get out of the way. Clink, clink.
I'm gonna get you. Or what if it's one of those that makes the like, like a mountain bike kind of, you know, like he's in
Yeah.
a gear and he's coming
Yeah.
right for you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
could be
I'm sure
menacing.
it was a situation,
Yeah. Also,
but
this is in-
imagining it is kind of funny.
I know, right? This is in England. Do you think they ride bikes more than here?
I don't know.
Like, is that like running somebody over with your car?
Yeah, like,
The
oh, he almost
equivalent.
gotcha.
Yeah. Fucking man, have you ever gotten taken out by a handlebar at the beach?
I have, actually, yeah.
That would
And
suck. For
That's
your
what I'm
kid's
saying.
head.
It would hurt, but like, what a soft threat.
Yeah, like he's just being a dick.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, friend called the cops on him. Like, he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
He would also monitor their home security cameras and alarms and stuff to see when Joanna had come home or had left to keep tabs on her. So he was controlling.
Yeah.
Not a good scenario.
Not a good situation.
Now, jump to July of 2007. Joanna had had enough, and she decided that she was going to file for a divorce.
2007?
2007. They
This
had
bitch
two
stuck
kids
it out for fucking...
ever for 10,
10 years?
Yeah, they have two kids together. One is 10 and one's like 8 or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah. She has enough and she's like, I'm tired of this life. I'm not going to do this shit anymore. I want a divorce. And so she filed, actually, while she was doing this divorce, she filed for a non-molestation injunction, which is basically a restraining order.
Okay.
So basically, like, he hasn't molested me or anything, but he's violently threatening me and I don't feel safe around him. He needs to keep his distance. So she did that and she files for divorce. When she filed the report, she mentioned a time when Robert had called her from Hong Kong, because he was an airline pilot, right?
Mm-hmm.
He called her and said something along the lines of, like, I'm having really dark thoughts, which I don't know what that means because it's a report, but I'm guessing maybe this was like a thing he would say to her, like I want to
Like
hurt
he had
you or
explained it
something.
before.
Yeah,
And
I
then
don't
it's
really
like,
know.
I'm having my dark thoughts again.
Exactly. And she cited an incident where he took a kitchen knife and held it up to her chest while holding her with the other hand behind her neck, like holding her still
Mm.
and threatening her. So, like, maybe that was, like, you know, his dark thoughts. Maybe later when they talk it out, he's just like, I just have these dark thoughts, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really fucking know.
Ooh, that's fucked up.
This guy has threatened her.
Physically.
Like, she's in danger.
Yeah.
And so are her fucking children.
Yeah.
We're talking, like, serious shit here. This guy is threatening her, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So she files for divorce, and after that, she noticed that her security cameras had stopped working. And then when
Uh-oh.
she checked it out, the power lines had been sliced on them.
Sliced?
Yeah, like he cut them
Yeah, but why?
because
Like they're his.
because he doesn't want anybody to catch what he's gonna do
Oh, no.
to her,
Oh, no.
right? Like
And then he's like staging the scene of they were sliced beforehand.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
But she fucking caught when they were sliced?
Well, so the power lines are sliced. She gets them fixed. And then shortly after that, security lights stopped working. And when she checked, those had also been cut. So it's like he's like trying to prime the stage so he could do something to her.
Yeah.
Or like she doesn't feel safe, right?
Oh my God.
She started going through her credit card records.
But he doesn't live with her now?
No,
Okay.
they're separated. They're
Yeah.
working on their divorce. The divorce was like long, drawn out, and a nasty
Ugly.
one. Like
Yeah.
3 years, I think, was the span of the divorce.
God damn.
Yeah. And she started going through the credit card records and she found evidence that Robert had purchased spy equipment to help him keep track of her, like keep
Oh.
tabs. And he admitted during the divorce proceedings that he had bought a tracker and put it on her car. Like, he was admitting that, yeah, I'm doing these things. I'm keeping tabs on her.
Oh my God.
So, like I said, the divorce dragged on for 3 years because the couple couldn't agree. Mainly, the big argument was they couldn't agree who was going to get the family house
Mm-hmm.
and the assets and everything. But Joanna had been running a bed and breakfast, which Robert allegedly had invested 200,000 pounds into the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're arguing over that, as well as the family home. And Joanna had actually bought this family home 4 years prior to meeting Robert. So she bought the house herself, and the house was literally in shambles. Like, there was like a tree growing through the roof or some shit. And she fixed it up all on her own with her own money and everything. So this was her house that Robert moved into. And Robert was trying to, like, get the house.
Steal it away
divorce.
from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, like, get money from it or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what was taking the divorce so long.
What?
Yeah, I know. What a fucking dick, dude.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he was just doing it to torment her also.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not going to give up my home.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. You're not going to bully me out of it.
Exactly. In October of 2010,
Mm-hmm.
so 3 years into the divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was Halloween day. At 4 p.m., Robert Brown drove to Joanna's house to drop off their 2 children for the weekend.
Okay.
Or whatever. Like, it was his turn and now it's her turn.
At 4 p.m.?
4 p.m.
Bro, you're cutting a little close to get fucking costumes on and shit, aren't you?
I mean, usually it's like fucking 8 by the time the sun goes down in October.
Yeah. I just want her to have the kids and have a fun Halloween.
She will. It's 4, you know? She's still got a couple hours.
Bring them home early.
Get them dressed. Aw. Do they practice Halloween? I'm sure. Right?
Celebrate?
I mean, like,
you
we-
mean like in England?
Yeah, we got everything from them, so.
Do they? I'm sure they do. All Hallows Eve?
Anyway, their divorce hearing was only weeks away,
Mhm.
and Joanna was feeling pretty down that day. And I guess the night before, her friend said that she was like working on all of her paperwork and shit for the divorce. So she's feeling kind of rough today. Not her best day.
Yeah.
And she kind of felt like the divorce was never going to end and that Robert was just going to try to find the next thing to pick a fight about. And he's never going to leave her alone. Like, she's
Mhm.
like, fuck, man, this guy is literally my nightmare. When Robert arrives to the home, he gets the kids home and they go inside and they start playing in the family room. And Robert goes inside the house and talks to Joanna, like in a hallway or something. And they're talking about the kids' education or something that Joanna had planned, but like Robert didn't agree with. So it started to turn into an argument.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're arguing, Robert begins to unpack one of the children's backpacks or bags that he had with all their clothes in it. And he had hidden a fucking hammer in there.
What the fuck?
A claw hammer. So he pulls a claw hammer out in the middle of this argument and he starts beating Joanna with it.
What the fuck?
And her children are like 2 doors down. They can hear what's
You
happening.
said they were going to have a good Halloween.
They did not have a good Halloween.
You lied.
Well, I don't even know if they celebrate Halloween.
That's true.
But 4 o'clock is plenty of time to still have a great Halloween. Just for the
Not
record.
anymore, it's not.
Not today. Not in Joanna's house. Jesus Christ.
no.
So he starts beating her with it and she throws up her arms. Like, she has no idea what's happening, right? All of a sudden she's just getting hit.
Yeah.
So she throws up her arms to defend herself and he's like fucking cracking bones in her arms and shit. He eventually hits her, I think, a total of 14 times.
Oh my God.
He fractured her head in multiple locations, including her cheekbones, her eye sockets, her nose, and her skull. She eventually falls to the ground. He beat her so severely that he killed her in her own hallway.
Oh
with her
my
children
God.
right there listening. The daughter said that she could hear the banging of the hammer. But they didn't, it's not clear if they saw the attack, but they definitely heard it and they were cowering in the family room because I'm sure they were used to mom and dad fighting.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I'm
Yeah.
speculating on that part.
Yeah.
And then to hear the banging, I don't know, maybe they knew what kind of dad they had. I'm not really sure. But these kids were like 10 and 8. And
Oh
they
my God,
heard their
how
mom
sad is
die. Okay, so he kills her. She's in the hallway. He then picks her body up and puts her in the back in the trunk of their Volvo, his Volvo,
Mm-hmm.
and he covers her with a plastic sheet. And then he goes back into the house and disconnects the phone and all of the security cameras and everything. And he gets rid of them. Like, I think he takes them with him or something, but he's getting rid of evidence, right? Because
Yeah.
the security footage would have just shown him coming into the house and then carrying her body out to the car.
Yeah. Not great.
Not great. Not great at all. And then he has his children get into the fucking car with their dead mom inside of it. They all pile into the car together.
Oh my God. How fucking scary for those kids.
As they drive away, They know mom's in the trunk because the son asks, "Are we taking mommy to the hospital?" Instead, Robert decided to drop the children off at his house where he had his current girlfriend by the name of Stephanie was staying, and asked her to watch the kids while he went into the garage and he grabbed duct tape, overalls, and shoe coverings. And they were described as forensic overalls, so I'm wondering if those are like the disposable kind.
Oh, maybe.
I don't really
Because,
know.
yeah, the forensic overalls, I'm assuming it's coverall, no overall or something. Those, like, white, ghostly looking ones.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It said overalls, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Something to cover his clothes.
Yeah.
Stephanie was immediately concerned. Like, she went along with it, right? Like, yeah, I'll watch the kids, whatever, go do what you got to do. But she was immediately concerned by Robert's behavior.
Because he had just gone to his ex-wife's house to drop off the kids and then come back with the kids.
And
presumably has some blood on him.
And acting weird and shit and going out to the garage and like, hey, watch my kids.
Being fucking sketchy. Yeah.
Exactly. So, Stephanie, the fucking hero here, she immediately calls Robert's parents and is like, hey man, Robert's acting weird. I think he might have just done something to Joanna. Like, I'm actually genuinely concerned about Joanna. Like, I need your help. What should I do?
Oh, God.
And so they reached out to Robert's brother, Kenneth, which I don't know, maybe they had a close relationship or something. And they're like, hey, your brother's being fucking cray. We need your help. I don't know what they say, but they tell Kenneth.
You could just call the cops and have them do a wellness check. Like,
You
hey,
could.
anonymous.
You could, but instead what happens is that Robert gets in the car, drives off to Windsor Great Park, which according to Google is like an ancient royal landscape of forest, grasslands, lakes, and gardens
Ah, yes.
that is located in Windsor, England.
Okay.
Which is kind of by London, if anybody doesn't know where Windsor is, because I didn't.
I'm following.
So he drives out to this park that is grasslands and forests and whatever, and he had already pre-dug a hole a year fucking prior.
A year
fucking prior. He pre-dug a hole that was the size of a garden box, which think of like garden bed in the U.S.,
Yeah.
but like a garden box, but he put the garden box in the ground into the hole, and then he lined it with plastic so there wouldn't be any seepage, and then he took her dead body.
So he
and
took a whole fucking coffin.
he made a coffin and had it all fucking pre-set up a year goddamn prior. He brought her dead body, smushed her into the box, like had to bend her in there because it wasn't a full size, like human size
Yeah.
box or whatever. Well, I guess it was, just not if you were just laying, you know?
Yeah.
And then he covered her with dirt, like buried her there. And then he buried like the shovel that he used around there. So he buries her in the forest somewhere of some
Windsor Park.
that nobody's going to find her in.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. So the following morning at 5 a.m., that all happened at 4 p.m., right? So then you're
Yeah.
guessing into the night.
Side
wait.
note here. Because I was going to say, he had the hammer in the kid's backpack. So obviously this is premeditated in some kind of way.
1,000%.
But like a year prior, that's some crazy premeditation. And number one, I wonder what happened then that prevented him from doing it
I wonder,
a year
like,
ago.
maybe
you
he
know?
just either chickened out or like circumstances wouldn't allow him to be alone or something to get it done. Well, because their divorce is going on for 3 years and like security cameras were cut and things like that. So I
Yeah.
wonder if he had tried multiple times and this is the one that just happened.
That's fucking crazy. Oh my God.
Isn't it? This guy sounds awful.
Yeah.
Now, it's 5 a.m. the next morning, and Stephanie sees Robert come home. So he's gone.
Who's Stephanie?
Stephanie
girlfriend?
is the girlfriend
Okay.
watching the kids.
Sorry.
So she's watching. No problem. So she's watching the kids from like, I don't know, 5 o'clock till 5 a.m. without Robert.
And he didn't say when he's going to come home or anything. Like, be back in 10, just
No,
going to the
I
store,
guess
getting bourbon
not.
and cigarettes or whatever. Like,
I guess fucking not.
and she's not going to ask any questions because he's all disheveled and fucking bloodstained.
I'd be like, you go do your thing. Anyway, I'm going to change the locks while you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this her
I don't-
house or his house?
I don't want to
Jesus
be
Christ.
next. I guess it's his. It's his that
Stephanie.
Stephanie was staying at.
Girl, I'd go. Like, sorry, you're 10. You can.
I'm
live.
sure she was ready to. I'm sure
Yeah.
she's like, what do I do with these kids? Okay.
You're 10.
Yeah.
That's a whole ass adult, almost.
Uh-huh.
You're going to stay alone for a couple hours.
Bye.
I'm scared. I'm going to go. I'll call the cops to do a wellness check.
I'll throw some chips on the ground so you can eat something.
Yeah,
Here's some Fruit
honestly.
Loops. Oh my God. Don't leave the kids. She did the right thing.
She did.
Okay. So 5 a.m., Robert returns home from his little escapade. And by 7:54 a.m., Robert's brother Kenneth had called the police. So I'm thinking it took that long for the parents to get a hold of Kenneth or something. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But Kenneth calls the police on Robert and says that he's worried about Robert and that he may have killed his ex-wife, Joanna. So he fucking snitches instantly.
Yeah.
As soon as Kenneth is like, I know what to do here.
They were like, let's call your brother. She was like, I'm afraid that something happened to Joanna.
Yeah.
And then the parents were like, we'll have the brother handle it. And then he was like, I'm done here.
I'm going to call the cops. Yeah.
You know what you should have done if you're afraid something happened? Just call the cops.
I wonder if like the parents maybe lived far away or something and they were like, hey, Kenneth, go get your brother. I don't know.
Yeah, go see what's happening. Yeah.
Exactly. So at 8:30 a.m., Robert himself had called the police to report a domestic dispute between him and Joanna.
So wait, was that before or after Kenneth called?
After Kenneth.
Okay.
Like 30 minutes after Kenneth had called. He's
Okay.
like, anyway, just need to report a domestic case.
Because now he's going to have neighbors or whatever being like, yeah, we kind of heard yelling.
Yeah, or something.
And he's got to be like, yeah, well, there was
Honestly,
a
I
little
don't know what his
argument.
grand plan was, but so police immediately go to Joanna's home where they find blood spots everywhere.
Yeah.
Like clearly a murder happened here.
That's when they question the kids.
Yeah, like I'm sure they have some information.
Yeah.
And by 10 a.m. that morning, Robert was arrested on suspicion of murder,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean, like, fuck, Jesus Christ. That is on the heels of the murder you got busted.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You got to be like, you didn't sleep.
For premeditating a year out, you did a real shit job.
Honestly. You did. That, I don't know. What was he going to do if he didn't do it then? Just be like, oh, sorry, I left the hammer in the backpack.
Right?
Maybe that's why he had to do it. I don't know. Anyway, he gets arrested on suspicion of murder. A huge police operation was launched to find Joanna's body, and after 4 days of searching, Robert finally agreed to lead the officers to her makeshift grave. So I think he was kind of like trying to not admit to it at first.
Mm-hmm.
He issued a one-page statement to the police saying that he had had an argument with Joanna, pushed her, and put her into the trunk. I think this was eventually, right? Like,
yeah.
at first he's like,
tell him in the beginning.
we had an argument. I don't know what happened. And then it's like all this evidence is coming out against him. So he issues a statement saying that they had an argument. He pushed her. No explanation as to like how she died other than a push, I guess. Then he says he put her in the car and then he was going to take her to the hospital, dropped off the kids, and instead of going to the hospital, took her to this grave.
Well, I figured it was too late by then, so...
I had good intentions.
Yeah.
It's the thought that counts,
I'm
right?
sure, yeah.
Honestly, bud, no, not in this situation. It is not the thought that counts.
I
my
was
God.
gonna.
Jesus Christ. In May of 2011, Robert was tried for the murder of his ex-wife, Joanna. Several friends and family members came forward as witnesses to attest to the extreme domestic violence that Joanna had endured in her marriage to Robert. Much of what should have been brought to the trial was not. For instance, the jury was never taken to the home to see how close her children were when Joanna was being murdered. And they were never taken to the burial place where they could see that Robert had clearly prepped the area for murder and where he had like buried shit. Instead, Robert got to take the stand and cry and tell this whole sympathy story, and he gains the jury's sympathy.
Nuh-uh.
The trial was supposed to take...
No fucking way.
It was supposed to take weeks, like 4, 5, 6 weeks or something, and it ended up taking only 8 days. The defense portrayed Joanna as some rich bitch who had led Robert to do this, like, horrible act. Basically, like... He says she trapped me into marriage and we were miserable and she was so awful that, like, I just couldn't take it anymore. He said that he was railroaded by her and that he suffered from this, quote, adjustment disorder, which is an emotional disturbance that interferes with your normal functioning. And I'm like, who doesn't? You
Honestly,
know?
yeah.
Like, that sounds...
Hormones?
Yeah, but he was like, that's why she led me, is because I have this disorder.
So she took advantage of me because I
was having a really hard time
disabled.
adjusting, and then I murdered her.
Yeah.
And the fucking jury bought it, dude. And he said that she had an affair, but there's no evidence to suggest that, and that she was hiding this money from him so that he couldn't get any in the divorce. He's crying on the stand, I wish I didn't have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And Joanna doesn't get a voice, right?
Yeah, obviously.
And a lot of people who were supposed to, like, get up and take the stand and everything didn't get the chance to. I don't know why. But Robert said that the stress, he said that he knew that their marriage was in trouble when he didn't get his normal birthday gift one year, which was a blowjob. He said that on the fucking stand. Like, don't you feel so bad for me? I didn't get my blowy.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Okay.
Sir, Oh my God.
Exactly. And he said that the reason that it happened right when it did was that the stress of the divorce coupled with his current partner, Stephanie, had had a miscarriage, I guess, had like activated his adjustment disorder. And he just fucking killed Joanna, I guess. All of Joanna's family are like for sure positive, like Robert's going to get the books. He's going to go away for life because there's so much evidence. Like he did it. But instead, what ended up happening was he pleaded not guilty of murder, but instead pleaded guilty to manslaughter with diminished responsibility.
You fucking beat her to death with a hammer
Yeah,
in front of his kids.
that's fucking murder.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not diminished responsibility in anything.
You pre-fucking meditated a year out, and there's all this evidence. It's insane, right?
No, stop it.
So
He's in prison for life. Did he die?
well,
Did he get murdered in prison?
I will tell you. as soon as
Jesus
this
Christ, if
is
this doesn't
done.
end that way.
Did he get murdered in prison? So much of the trial was spent on Robert's story, and none of Joanna's story was actually told. So the jury took pity on Robert. It turns out domestic abuse cases in England come with a much lower sentence than a random murder case. Like, I guess it's just not as...
Well, she's your wife, so you deserve to be able to hit her.
You get to
Yeah.
murder her.
Yeah.
Not that extreme, but it's pretty fucking close.
Yeah. It's
And also-
logical. You can only live with a woman for so long before you got to start.
Yeah, before
fucking-
that hysteria hits in and
Yeah.
you gotta like whack him in place.
Yeah.
It seems that the judge wasn't as convinced as the jury, and when he was reading out his like sentencing,
Yeah.
the judge was basically like, you used this adjustment disorder to like get away with murder. And he basically said that like plenty of people suffer from this disorder and they don't murder anybody. Oftentimes, like the primary factor of or primary characteristics of adjustment disorder have nothing to do with violence. And, you historically showed time after time that you were a terrible person to Joanna. And like, I don't buy it, but the jury bought it, so here we are, right?
Oh my God.
So he got the most that he could give. The judge gave us the most that he could give in that scenario, which to the law was sentenced to 26 years. But as long as he doesn't commit any other crimes, he can be released automatically after serving half of the sentence with no risk assessment. So that,
No risk assessment.
so that means he was sentenced to 13 years
Yeah.
in prison, and he doesn't have to face a parole board or anything. He just gets to be released after 13 years and like don't do anything else for another 13 fucking years. Don't kill anybody and you're cool. That's all
Jesus Christ.
fucking 13 years for murdering his wife with a claw hammer. So this happened whenever it fucking happened in 2010. So that takes us to 2023, which is where we're living now in the year 2023. And he is due to be released the week of November 6th of 2023
Get the fuck out of here.
without having to go in front of a parole board or anything. And the fucking Joanna's family is like, first of all, this is insanely disappointing. Like,
Yeah.
you're not even, the justice system is not doing anything. And they're campaigning to change laws so that abusers cannot claim that the victim drove them to kill their victim, because that's how he got away with this.
Yeah.
Was like, basically,
She provoked me to choke you
yeah, because I crawled in bed late last night.
and I woke you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
an Eminem song. I'm not being an asshole.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I know.
I know you're aware.
Anyway,
But that's basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
She provoked me to fucking kill her.
I had no other choice. He ran into my knife.
He ran into my knife 10 times.
He had it coming. No. Yeah, but isn't that fucking awful? Oh my God.
That's fucking insane.
Okay, so their family is just like, oh my God, first of all, we need to change the laws around here because this is fucking insane. We're living in 2023 and this is still a thing. You
Yeah.
can still claim, like, if it's between a
Spouse.
wife and a husband, yeah, that it's like technically less than if Robert just would have murdered some random person on the street the same way he did to Joanna, he would be in prison for life.
But since
because
it's
it's his wife and she, quote, provoked him on his disorder, he got 13 years.
what the fuck?
And he's crazy. Like, so her family is like, we need to change the laws. And
I keep thinking you're about to say locks, and I was like, they should have done that a long time ago.
really, honestly, you should really change the locks too. They say that they're fighting to keep Robert in prison, not because they want justice for Joanna. They're like, we're never going to get justice for her. The system is too fucking corrupt.
Yeah.
And it's not even because it's not fair. Like, they know that the system's not fair. They want to do it for their own protection and for the protection of other women.
And
they're
the
like,
kids.
And the kids. They're like, what if Robert comes out with revenge? Like, this whole time we've been talking shit about him.
Yeah.
And telling him what a terrible person he is, because he is. And we've been very open about it. And we've been witnesses and everything. We haven't hidden our identity for shit because we wanted justice for Joanna. You didn't give it to us.
Yeah.
And now we have to live in a world where this man is just about to get to walk free with no risk assessment.
Oh my God.
He's shown he's violent time after time. He held a fucking knife up to her.
Yeah.
Not only could he do this to us and know where we live and all of this other stuff, but he could go do that to another chick. Like, it's not
Yeah.
safe for him to be out and about running around in this world.
How old is he?
I want to say he's probably like 50s now. I think he was like early 40s when that happened.
Wow.
Or late 40s, I don't really know. Somewhere
Yeah.
around there. Another reason why they're worried about revenge is like basically they ruined his life by being a witness, you know? Like, he can't be an airline pilot. He used to make a lot of money doing that. He's not going to have that. Like, he's going to seek revenge. He's that kind of person. He showed he was that kind of person. He just did that to Joanna.
Yeah. What do you think? He's just going to come out quietly and calmly and not hit up everybody that he's been talking to before in his previous life?
Exactly. And so Justice Secretary Alex Chalk has vowed to the family that he will do everything he can to keep the public safe, and that the family is like due to meet with this Justice Secretary guy in October to discuss Robert's potential release. But I guess
Potential release, though?
yeah, I guess historically speaking, these secretary people can make them stay longer, but I don't think it has been used often, whatever law that is. And I don't really, obviously, I clearly don't understand the laws. So the family is like begging this person, like, please don't let Robert out. And he's like, I will do an assessment. And if he is safe to the public by that assessment, then basically there's nothing I can do. But yeah, so it sounds like Robert's going to be getting out early November. So we'll have to keep track of that.
Jesus.
And the family's like fucking terrified.
I bet. That's
All because
so
of a
fucking
law.
Scary.
Yeah. And so they're trying to change the laws and everything too. Like, can you imagine your family member dying, not getting justice, and now you have to take on the burden of fucking the justice system?
Yeah,
Because
right?
nobody's helping you.
Yeah.
It's either lay down, change your whole fucking identity in life, change everything, or stay where you are, risk being murdered at any second, or fight the justice system. Like, this poor family has been through fucking enough.
God, that sucks.
But if he does get out, I hope he just lays low and disappears. I hope he's like, God damn, I was a different person then.
Yeah,
and just
like that was a
disappears
rough
into the ether.
point in my life.
Yeah.
Now I'm on medication for my adjustment.
Honestly,
Fucking
something, huh?
whatever.
Jesus
Oh my God,
Christ.
how
Isn't
terrible.
That so sad.
That is really sad. Those poor kids.
I know. I wonder how they're doing. They're
I
in their
guess
20s
the older
now.
one would be 23,
Yeah.
4, 5-ish maybe.
Something like that. That's gonna fuck you up, man.
That's fucked up.
And the family took the kids away from him, so that's another thing. Like, the kids went to go live with Joanna's family, I guess. I think her parents, maybe?
Well, are they going to live with him in prison?
No, but like they didn't go to his family,
Oh. Well, listen.
honestly. But like, and they're never gonna let them see the kids again. I mean, they're adults now, so
Yeah,
whatever.
they're adults, so I guess they'd make that choice themselves. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't have either.
No way.
He put you through a lot.
Fucking wild.
That's fucking insane. That sucks. Man.
Super sucks. So, if you guys want to check out pictures pertaining to that case, go to our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. And by Twitter, I mean X.
Duh.
Also, you can email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com, or you can snail mail us at
P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 9197.
9. And also, please subscribe, rate, and review, and go tell all your friends about us. And also, I don't think we mentioned it on the podcast. Maybe we did, but we're going to be getting rid of ads soon. So you're welcome.
Yeah, so sorry about that for a while.
We're trying.
We're trying.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Love you. Hooah!